Welcome to the 3G Fitness Podcast,
where 3 generations of trainers come together to discuss all things fitness related.
Join us as we share insights, tips, and stories from our diverse experiences as we unravel the secrets of staying fit.
What is up, beautiful people? We're back again with another great episode today. My name is Coach Mikayla.
My name is Coach Michael.
I'm Coach Cisco.
Yes, and today we have another special guest with us. This is Coach Mikayla Samiano.
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah. Wait. Where's the applause?
Oh,
wow. Thank you.
there it is. Welcome
All
to
right.
the club.
Now, she is a certified personal trainer. She's been training for 7 years now. I think she has a degree in psychology, and she's also certified in the Czech Institute Holistic Lifestyle. I've never heard of that certification. Tell us more about that.
Czech, CHEK. It's a holistic lifestyle certification. And holistic meaning looking at a client as a whole, not just with the physical and movement of the body.
What do you mean by that? So it's not just exercise based?
Not just exercise based, but understanding the client where they're at mentally, emotionally, and then just understanding and meeting them where they're at to help them get to those goals.
Got it.
Because, there's busy moms. You have to incorporate their lifestyle, right? The stress of children, marriage, whatever it is.
How'd you find that certification? How did that come up in the opportunity to take
I
that?
don't know how I found it. Popped up somewhere.
Uh-huh.
I think I was following someone who was certified, and then I looked into it myself, and then I decided to go with it.
Really?
Yes.
And is it a fitness-based certification?
Yeah, it still integrates movement. Obviously, that's a big part of it.
I think it just looks at all the different categories of
Yeah.
wellness as a whole, right?
Yeah, because it's a lifestyle,
physical
right?
is just one aspect
Being
of
healthy
it.
is a lifestyle.
Yeah, no, I like it because it sounds like it's more like a emotional, spiritual, physical, like it connects everything all at once.
Right.
And
So you're like a psychologist and a trainer.
I mean, I don't
Kinda
really
like-
call myself a psychologist.
Well, I didn't say that. I said you're
Yes,
like
you just
that.
did.
You literally just said that.
you said that.
You talk about emotional problems and things like that. So kind of like you kind of like mix it together, right? I mean, you help them with their emotional
Stand your ground.
problems.
Explain
and-
yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
like
not your
to-
title. I'm not saying
No,
that's
no,
your
no,
title.
no.
Okay.
I hold space for them. Just
Hold space.
hold space for them. I listen to what they have to say. Obviously,
that time like a
Yeah.
psychologist down the road.
I
you-
do.
you-
Well,
I
let me ask
listen.
you this.
Well, I'm not a psychologist, but I do the same
yeah,
thing,
Yeah,
you know,
not
like,
you,
it's just-
not you. You, Michael. So, what is it when you train your clients? Do you just sit there and count their reps?
damn near do.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And they talk to me about
what I mean.
stuff, but
But you,
I don't talk about emotional problems and things like that.
so, but you're just there to count their reps and look at their form, right?
no, well, yeah, I do that, but
So-
I talk about other things,
So, what I used to call that a personal counter. You're just a personal counter. That's the difference, right? A personal trainer.
Damn.
That's
personal what?
counter. You're just counting reps.
No, I don't go show them what to do because they already know. Because
See?
I've already went through that at the beginning.
See, but I used to joke and
But then
call
I
that.
make them do it right when they're not doing it wrong. When they're not doing it right, I
But-
make them do it right.
But then that's one of those
But
things.
I'm not a personal counter.
I
just
know.
don't got
I
one,
said that.
2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
but I would
5.
joke like that
This is what you're talking about.
because this is what I would mean is that like when I used to hire trainers at 24
As a manager.
I would always say that to the struggling trainers. The trainers that had the least amount of clients. I was like, "Are you a personal trainer or are you a personal counter?" Right? Because it's one of those things where you are. What's the first word that I said? You are personal.
Exactly. Yes.
So that's why sometimes it's not that you signed up for it to be a therapist as you called it, but like, hey, you got to know them. And my approach is very similar to Mikayla's approach. I've actually known Mikayla for a while too. I've always said we're the same person. I've always said this multiple times. I think our training styles are very much alike. We literally approach people on a relationship basis to help
Yeah.
them get to the
Same.
results.
Same.
All my clients love Cisco.
Yeah, and
just
vice
like,
versa. All of my
yeah.
clients love Mikayla. Like whenever I've gone on vacation, some of them like they don't really train with others, but they all said this: "Hey, if you're gonna be gone for a long time, would Mikayla be able to train me?" I'm like, "Yeah, go talk to her if you want me to do that," because they just feel comfortable. It's almost like the same vibes. But I do believe that I never knew there was a holistic certification for this.
Yeah.
I just understood it as you were a psychology major first that became a trainer.
That is what the basis was, and I didn't know there was a name for it either until I stumbled upon that. And I was like, okay, so this is what I am doing, right? Because building that relationship with my client, being personal as a trainer was like the biggest piece of what I do.
So basically, you're because I know a little about holistics, okay, and you're
This is
serious.
great.
All of
Oh,
a
yeah?
sudden.
I do.
Continue,
Actually, I do.
continue.
Actually, I actually do. And so you're like a holistic healer, right?
Healer, I don't.
You are basically, because you talk
She
about
uses
talk to them
crystals
about
and
their emotional problems and stuff like that.
But we all have emotional problems,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
we have to take that into consideration because
Yeah.
our body takes in stress the exact same way, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual. So understanding that, I wouldn't say I'm a healer.
I'm
though.
looking at spiritual.
I'm not a healer.
There are holistic healers.
There
right?
is holistic healers.
And so I think for you, Mike, it's because you never really trained the style that maybe all
do.
three of us
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, you like the minute
Because
you
we
know.
really go into like the mind of the individual, not just like the
Yes.
physical part, but like understanding their motives and why they do things or why they can't do certain things.
Yes.
It's on a deeper level.
yeah, because
Well,
perfect-
It's not just about you
I
can't
do-
get this
I-
weight, so do it
I-
again.
I train powerlifters and stuff like and
so do I.
it's not really about what
So do I. So go on.
it's just about getting it's all about getting the lift right.
Yeah, but is it also like say if you're training a power lifter and maybe they just lost their job? Wouldn't you think that's probably important to understand? And would you think that doesn't
I
affect
try
their
not to
lift?
get into that.
Why not?
I just don't try not to.
But
that
maybe
affects
maybe
them
because
so
I'm a lot
much.
older.
Yeah.
That affects such a big change in their life. And
you don't think that's gonna affect their lift?
No, I don't. I don't think it does.
Really?
I don't. I just talk about the lift and stuff like that. When they get into that personal thing,
Okay. Let's go even deeper. Say you're training a power lifter and they lost a significant other, like death. You don't think that they're gonna come in and be affected by that when they lift?
No, it's actually happened. So
He's like,
No,
I'll
but
see
it
you tomorrow.
actually-
You
Wait,
better
no,
pull
but
up
it happened.
tomorrow.
No,
So
but it actually
It happened to me already.
It
That's very confusing.
the lifter was affected by that,
Yeah,
right?
mine just didn't come until she could emotionally get through it.
Yeah,
And then
but
she
that's-
comes and she's another person.
But there you go. But I mean, wouldn't it be better if you were there to
But see-
emotionally support
Alright.
and help them get through it to get back faster?
Personal training has got to a point of basically what you guys do. All right, and there's nothing wrong
What
with
we
it. I'm not
guys
saying
do.
there's anything wrong with it. I just try not. I try not to go to that point.
Okay.
That's what I try not to do.
Why?
So it's a boundary for you.
So you build that boundary up to not get that.
I guess it's just for so long.
Does it make you uncomfortable?
Not really. I just been
To talk
doing it
about
for
that?
so long that I've gotten away from that point of
Is it avoiding it though?
No, I just try not to get into it. But they do get into it though, and you kind of like sometimes you have no choice but to listen.
Right. So when that happens, what do you do?
I don't like
How
to
do
give,
you
I don't,
support
I don't
them?
like to give advice.
So that's avoiding it.
Yeah, you can say that, but I try not to give advice. I try not to say,
Right,
well,
but
this
how-
is what you should do.
How do you show support
Support to
Yes.
the
in that
to
situation?
the client.
Yeah.
Come in and train, and I train them. Shit, man, you guys are like
So now like
Please
that's,
do.
that's
This is an interview about Mike though, so
But-
let's
no, but it's
I know,
just
I
like
started asking
yeah,
questions.
you know.
Sorry.
I know she started asking questions or anything like that, but then like. So you obviously avoided that, but now us three, we welcome it. But Mikayla, why do you feel
For
like
sure.
that is such a strong attribute of yourself to kind of be able to welcome somebody's energy, stress levels, and things like that, and like change that for
Yeah.
the better?
I
Why-
mean, one that I always say holding space for them and meeting them wherever they are because you wake up one day, you're not feeling your best, something happened big like that, you lose your job, someone passes, and just are you really going to want to give 100% in the gym that day? Just like I welcome them to let me know what's going on so that I can meet them, I can adapt their training program for the week, for the month, So That's what I do.
Yeah.
And so they build this.
It comes
they,
with like
they
building a
build this
relationship too, you know,
confidence.
building
yeah.
a relationship with your client. It's
That's
like
the whole basis.
I always
having
tell
that
people
relationship.
like we
They
create that
build this-
environment for them
they
to
build
feel
this-
safe. All right, they built it.
Trying to get it before I lose train of thought.
Okay, go. Go.
If they build this confidence in you and they listen to everything you're saying, and you give them advice that's not good, and they use it and it takes a bad turn, then what?
Well, you don't have to give them
I
like
don't- I
actual
wouldn't say I
concrete
give
advice, but just
advice.
allow
Whoa,
them
whoa.
to kind of feel what they're feeling, you know, and then
you could
just
feel what
being
they're
there for
feeling,
them.
but when they spill themselves to you, you
Yeah.
tell them, hey, maybe you want to, try.
What-
Maybe you want to try that or something like that. But you do give them advice. You do say, well, maybe this or that.
I feel like the basis of any quote advice, the word you're using, when I talk to them and they do spill out to me, it's about showing them love, like accepting that.
Yeah.
You know, like
Okay.
I have clients
Yeah.
who just like they come in and just like I just want to cry today.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
just like,
Or, like, I
okay,
just
like
wanna,
let's
like,
do
vent.
that.
I
I'm
just
here
wanna
for
vent.
you, and just
It
like
happens.
I'm gonna show you that love that you need to feel today.
I
Yeah.
think you got to just make the environment welcoming and whatnot, and then that way it's just they're comfortable. Because like I said, the most important thing when you're training somebody, specifically a client, is to make them comfortable.
Exactly.
Whether it's meeting them and halfway, or like I said, maybe your clients are comfortable with you just being there, guiding them with the number, with the reps, or anything like that. But I think the importance about it is just the client needs to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like there's different avenues on how to do it.
Yeah.
I think your way and Mikayla's way differ. And
Definitely.
And
I don't sit there and say it's not. I don't know.
And they're each successful. So like we were saying, I mean, there's different aspects, and they all work for everyone. Mike's been successful with his way. You've been successful with your way. We've all been successful in our ways of training. That's the beauty about fitness. I mean, there's different ways to approach it. So, and when did you graduate with your degree, and when did you become a trainer, and how did that process kind of start for you?
Graduated with my degree in 2016. That was in
Psychology.
Texas, and then I moved here, and I did not know what to do.
Really?
So I followed what I loved doing, which was training. I loved being in the gym. I loved moving my body, and I knew that.
Sorry.
Wow, thank
Sorry,
you.
my fault.
Wow, I got
My bad,
womp.
I did not mean to do that. Sorry.
What was I saying?
So you
Shit.
graduated in
I graduated
2016
yes,
with your
and
degree in
followed
psychology.
what you knew
Correct.
you loved, which was training.
And
Yes.
you came here.
My fault.
So I was at 24 and I started at the front desk. That's when I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And when I made that switch into personal training, it was because the fitness manager gave me the opportunity to get certified, and I ended up giving it my all and loving it. So,
Really?
yes.
How did that fitness manager approach you? He was just saw you and
I was at the front desk. He saw that I was a very personable person.
Yep.
I really built a relationship with the members who even just walked in, remembered their names, and it always made an impression on them. And that's the basis of, building a relationship with people. And I think because I was able to do that when I switched to the personal training side, people approached me and was like, oh, you're training now. Like, I would want to train with you because of being personable.
nice. And
Okay,
then-
you said you got your degree in.
Psychology.
Okay, so I guess that goes back to you're like a psychologist and a trainer, right? You kind of know how to do it.
I understand
There-
the
that-
mental part of
That's what
training
makes it so.
and life.
That's what makes it so easy for you to get like that.
Yes.
In when you're training, to talk about things and to get to know them, because you have that psychology
Background?
background.
But see, I don't have that
Me-
psychology
I don't have
background, but I do the
psychology.
Yeah,
same
I
exact
just,
thing for my clients.
yeah.
Like, I get pretty deep in with them, but that's just being a genuine, personable person, like she said.
Well, you like going deep, that's on you, But I think not all trainers like to go deep into their clients,
and
because,
what-
no.
because you
Yeah.
get, you start getting personal, and then you start giving advice, even though you're not meaning to, but you know so much.
But I
that-
feel
I
like
get that. There is like a line that you don't want to cross when it comes to giving
Yes.
advice, but that's why when I
But that's
when I give
fear-based.
advice, I
it's doing it out of
generally
fear.
I generally kind of steer more towards being more productive, making sure you're still focusing on your health and
Just
fitness type of
guidance
advice. Yeah,
in the
guidance.
right
Not necessarily
direction.
like exactly what to do about the issue that
don't-
they have. No, it's more of like
no,
just,
I don't even do any of that. So I'm very open with my clients.
Yeah.
I let them go deep and like express what issues they have, and I try to approach it as the opposite. So let's just say a very common one, maybe they had a fight with their significant other. I will always approach the significant other's way and try to make them be like, well, maybe your significant other said this because of this and this and this.
So you help them understand, try and see it from a different point of view.
Yeah, my approach is always that. I don't give advice. I don't be like, oh, you should go do this or this or this. And maybe sometimes, but I always try to be like, well, look, this happened probably because of A, B, and C, and this is why you guys got into that or anything. That same thing with like with work. Oh, you lost your job. When someone just lost their job, we'll use that as an example. They probably come in mad, sad, angry, and I'll be like, well, yeah, dude, but why did you lose it? You know, like, well, no, my boss hated me. I was like, why did your boss hate you? Like, there's reasons that led up to that explosion in their life, right? So I try to approach it like, let's figure out what got you there first, and let's not dwell on it. Let's not, oh, that sucks or this or that, and don't even try to solve it. Try to figure out what got you there and be more aware of that. That's what I do a lot with my clients, and that's why I think my clients like really love, and like they're like, okay, they probably don't love me that moment because I'm not agreeing with them, because I'm not super like, oh, you're right. I'm just trying to like tell them, hey, something happened to get you there.
Yeah.
What happened? Oh, it's like, you know, and that's my approach. So I don't even try to steer them to go a certain direction. I try to
I think
figure
you just
out.
help them process what they're going through.
Yeah, I think that's worked for me.
Which is still, I think what we're doing is we're meeting their negativity with positivity.
Yes. And I think that's super important.
That's all
to
it
do.
is.
And productivity.
Yeah.
And productivity.
Because they're moving, you know, and like I said, you keep telling her she's a therapist. You keep telling her this. I've been told throughout my years, oh, Cisco, you're like my therapist. Oh, this is a therapeutic training.
That's the running joke
I can
in this
probably
industry.
pull up a text message and be like, I need a therapeutic training session today. I'll be like, all right, cool, I got you.
Exactly.
We're still gonna do the work and whatnot.
Right.
That's why I've said it multiple times. That's why I carry a clipboard to write things down to make sure they're writing. Because I would get too suckered in to the conversation and we wouldn't do any exercises if I didn't write down and be like, hey, let's go. Like that's why I personally carry that for me, because it helps me stay on track with the exercise portion. Because I agree with you, Mike. We still got to be there to exercise and get the thing done. We can't be there and sit down and just have a full-blown conversation with them either.
Because we're still personal trainers.
Yeah, we're still there.
Movement is still the basis of what we do.
Exactly. And then when you're meeting them emotionally and you're giving them something physical to do, you're like really getting them up.
Because you have all their senses engaged.
Yeah. But that's why, you know, you don't always have to be giving it advice or anything like that.
I just don't think I don't do that.
No, I know.
I try not to. When they said going off subject and moving on and stuff, I always sit there and I do tell them, I go, you're paying me.
Oh yeah.
That's
But
how
then
blunt I am.
when that happens,
hey, that wakes them up pretty quick too.
That one's something. We need something for that.
but
That was crazy.
But going back to you, Mikayla, so you know you're going with all that. One thing that I personally say it drains me. How does it drain you when you literally train like that?
Well, it definitely, if someone drops some heavy news on you, obviously it affects me as well, emotionally and energy-wise. And so I need to make sure I do the things to take care of myself and, you know, do my meditation practice, my journaling, things that bring me joy so that I can show up every single day and be my best to serve my clients. Because it happens. It happens.
Yeah, for sure.
I see 8 people in one day, you know. I need my ears to be listening, and I want to be at my very best and just be whatever I need to for that session.
Meditation.
Here we go.
I don't know if it's me as an individual or what, but man, I've tried meditating it, man. Gotta let me know something. You gotta let me know how, staying focused and stuff for a period of time.
I feel like that's what a lot of people think, like meditation, you have to just sit and be still and like, just, I get you're focusing, but just how about breathing, right? Just count your breath, 2 seconds in, 2 seconds out, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you could do that for 1 minute to start, great, you meditated. You know, keep it simple. You don't have to sit there with your legs crossed for 30 minutes.
But are you thinking about something when you're meditating?
You're breathing.
I try and stay focused on my
I
breathing.
know she's breathing, but
Yeah.
That's what she's
I try and
But
stay
you can
focused on my
breathe.
breathing. That's my anchor.
Yeah.
Because we're humans, right? We have thoughts going in our head all day long, whether we're conscious about it or not. And so I definitely do wander sometimes. Some days are much easier than others where I don't feel like I'm straying away from my breath so much. But there are days that I'm just like, oh shit,
so
I got lost again.
You gotta keep it blank,
happens.
right?
No,
I mean,
that's
you know,
not
you're
true.
breathing, but you're
Yeah.
not thinking about anything,
That's
right?
bullshit. You were never ever not thinking about anything.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it right.
If anything, you're
right?
you're thinking about
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah, so it's like that's the human experience. is
I'm sitting
thinking.
there. I'm sitting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there trying not thinking about anything, right?
I
Yeah.
feel like being
But
like
everything-
meditation is kind of
everything
helping you
is
like
going
be
through-
one with your own thoughts and like what
Exactly.
you're feeling
And
and
just-
why you're feeling certain
Oh.
things. You
And
know, it's like being more
understanding
mindful.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Understanding
Hey,
yourself.
more mindful.
No wonder it's wrong. I was like thinking, man, what was it?
There's
I'm
no
trying to
wrong.
meditate. I'm trying to keep a clean,
No.
clean thought, but I'm over thinking about all the issues I'm dealing with.
So
Yeah,
that's,
and that's
part
why
of it.
you have
That's
an anchor,
literally
right? And you're just like, okay, now I come back to my breath. I'm thinking about all this shit I have to do, and then you come back to breathing. So you're doing it right. You're okay.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
doing it right.
It's
You're
just-
you're human.
you gotta face
Congratulations.
those thoughts though, like face those head on.
Yeah,
All right, I have a
exactly.
question. Since you do focus on the holistic health part, what do you feel like are the key pillars to holistic health?
Ooh, I mean, mind, body, soul, right? Spirit.
Okay,
Like the
a little
Holy
deeper
Trinity?
on that.
Yeah.
Kind of explain each one and
So, health in general is your mentality and your emotion. Obviously, you want that to be at your best all the time, right? I don't know how to use an example right now because I'm
So
very
this is
bad
the
at
mind
thinking
part.
on the spot.
This is the mind
Yes,
part.
this
right?
is the mind part.
Okay.
Yes, I would feel like emotional is part of that, right?
sure,
And then,
for sure.
but they all affect each other, right? It's just like a tripod.
Right.
You can't have one without the other. The
Yeah.
pillar is not going to stand if you don't have
Yeah.
the other.
I'm
And
assuming
then
the body is the actual physical.
Yeah, the physical realm. Obviously, getting your sleep, doing all the things to take care of your body, working out. That's what we help you do. Getting your water in, not eating your processed foods, and just trying to fill your body with the best stuff so that you perform and you can live your life at your very best.
Okay.
And then
The soul.
the soul
Is
part,
that like
that's a really
spiritual?
hard. Yeah,
I feel like that's more like belief in how
It
you
is-
how you believe in
yes.
yourself. Like what are your
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a tough one. It's
spiritual,
hard
but
to-
not
What's the
spiritual that
difference?
you would think. I feel like
What's
because
up?
most people think about spiritual as like your belief in God or whatever.
Right.
But
Or
not
like
necessar-
religion, you
Religion,
mean?
not necessarily
Yeah,
religion,
no.
but
I
like
feel
what are
like
your beliefs
it's-
in life?
in life
terms
it's
of-
just believing that we're a part of something bigger than just ourselves. Like we are connected, just being here together. Like there's a reason for us having this conversation.
So what's the difference
that, for
in
sure.
you do holistics, right? What's the difference between holistics and holistic healing?
Healing, I feel like in that when you say healing, I think of like
Could you answer that one?
Reiki.
Can you answer that
Like,
one?
Okay,
Okay, there's
Reiki,
there's a difference, right?
Reiki healing, like that.
I think
is
that's what
a-
you're thinking of.
I think that's what you're thinking of too, because or like
Reiki, like
Reiki,
R-E-I-K-I.
R-E-I-K-I. I
Yeah.
haven't personally done it myself, but I do know people
Yeah.
who
Like
go
the
to
whole
Reiki.
Yeah,
yes,
energy
it's like it's an
thing.
energy.
Yeah,
healing.
exactly.
And they like
Yeah.
do this
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that,
yeah.
And they just want to feel the energy.
The
just
energy release and the aura.
like that,
Yeah.
like that. That's what they do. They mess with the energy.
Yes, holistic modalities. Thank you. But Reiki, I would say, is like an actual healing thing,
Yeah.
and they focus on moving around the energies in your body. I'm not super sure actually, like
Of
what
Reiki,
the
yeah.
actual is. But when I think of holistic healing, it's because it's non-invasive and things like that.
Look it up in your computer, Mr. Computer.
Which one? Reiki?
Holistic healing.
What is holistic healing?
Yeah, I'm just sure. I hear about it.
But it's just looking at a human as a whole, not just in parts.
Holistic healing is a wellness approach that treats the whole person, including their body, mind, and spirit and emotions. The idea is that all aspects of a person are connected and that achieving balance in each area can lead to optimal health and well-being.
Okay,
So right here.
These guys laugh when I bring it up.
No, acupuncture
But there
and
is something-
acupressure. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I think we feel like you're thinking about actual like Reiki.
No.
Mike,
I don't understand what
You don't
actually,
understand
what
what
is
it is.
holistic healing. So I'm asking her. You're saying holistics.
Yeah.
So is there a difference between holistic and holistic healing, or is it just one?
Holistic,
That's what I'm
the
saying.
word
The word
holistic,
itself.
the word holistic is pretty much seeing an individual as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, holistic healing is like something completely different. Think of Mikayla as a holistic trainer, and then there's holistic healing. They're completely.
Well, I'm
like,
trying to
different
find
things.
out what the difference is on the two. Is what I'm saying. So if you look it up,
Like,
there you go.
okay, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Say if we wanted to practice holistic healing, I just feel like let's go to the woods and do some shrooms and like be one with the woods. That's what I feel holistic healing would be. I don't know if that's what it is, but like, you know, you literally get psychedelic and you feel one with your environment. And that's what more of like a holistic healing approach
There's
would
definitely psilocybin journeys that you can go on.
be. See, I told
Yes,
you.
that
DMT.
people do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like some people do that, and
Yeah.
I've seen it like where like people are like, oh, you know, we're gonna go out, and they literally, you know, do mushrooms or
So-
drop acid or something that just psychedelically makes them feel
Psychedelically.
So-
psychedelically feels them with the one of their environment.
I mean, it's
Where-
interesting
okay,
to
But that,
where I
those
heard
kind of
that
stuff
from-
also
where I heard
make
it-
you face your issues.
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
really what it is.
So
they
in
have
the-
animals that
Yeah.
they do that to animals.
Okay, the psychology conference that I just
I
went
guess,
to in
you know.
England,
That's where I heard it.
they're
you know.
actually using psilocybin mushrooms for
See?
like in practices now. So this is in even Western medicine, right? Because it was a psych conference, and so they talked about how using things, what's it called, psychedelics, to help people heal their trauma.
Yep.
And like really deep trauma too.
Yeah,
You know.
it's crazy.
Is that the uses of mushrooms?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what
she
they're
just said
learning.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's more
Psychedelic, yeah.
research.
I've been
coming out
hearing
now.
about that. You know.
I'm
Yeah.
telling
Or
you,
acid.
Mike, we should do shrooms one day. But anyways,
No.
I
Mikayla, we should.
Wait, so I wanted to-
But like, so ever since you
No,
got more
no.
into holistic approach, right? You know, your approach as a person stayed the same. Did your approach as a training style shifted in any way or form as you kind of got more involved with holistic?
Well, with the holistic certification, we definitely did more like corrective things as well,
Okay.
right? And just like really correct functioning of the body and how important posture is. Like posture being the foundation of the whole assessment to choose the exercises that
Okay.
I incorporate for my clients.
Yeah.
And that's why mobility is such a big part of my programming, because full range of motion, right? We have so many people who are sitting down sedentary or have been doing jobs for years, you know, and there's so many imbalances in their body. So pain shouldn't be normalized. Like, I don't think people should be in pain. Like, a healthy body can move well.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty dope. See,
When did you find, or in your whole journey of like, you know, your fitness and everything, when did you kind of realize like there's more to just the physical side of fitness?
I feel like I always knew that because
You
of
always
my
knew that?
psychology background.
Really?
Yes.
When did you start working out personally?
Well, I played volleyball since I was like in 5th grade.
Okay, so,
So,
you always had
I
like a,
was-
you were always.
I was
into
always
fit.
moving for sure, always into fitness, but I would say after I was done playing volleyball at my junior college, then that's when I started training on my own because I was like, oh shit, you know, like I'm losing muscle and I felt weak and I'm 5 feet, I'm 115 pounds and I didn't like the feeling of not being able to carry something that I wanted to.
Gotcha,
And so
gotcha.
that's when I really locked in my own training and it's been a journey from there, you know, being obsessed with being skinny, being a girl, right? It was like doing cardio, doing 2-a-days, and now it's just in a much healthier place and training for, you know, events.
So you said you were losing muscle. Are you naturally like petite?
Yeah, I think so.
So like, what was your more walking weight when you weren't working out?
Oh shit. I think I was closer to, I've always had muscle for sure, but
But-
maybe like 105, 110.
And then you are currently now, if you don't mind me asking,
115.
like 115.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
a 10-pound.
Yeah.
You were
muscle
at
gain.
150 at one time?
No, 15. I'm
15.
115 right now. I think the heaviest
Oh.
I've ever been was 132.
Really?
Yes, and that's when I
Bulking
first
or
went
what?
to
That was in a
college.
bulk? Oh.
No, that was when I first went to college, and I started drinking like a motherfucker,
Uh-huh.
and eating so much Mexican hot dogs and tacos because I had never had real Mexican food living in Hawaii my whole life and being in Laredo, Texas. So
Nice.
132 pounds.
So you're naturally petite. Now you're like putting on muscle. And for women that probably are sharing the same path or goal for you, what kind of advice would you give for someone that, especially a woman that maybe wants to put on muscle, wants to put on some weight?
Easy. Don't be afraid to eat
Okay.
and lift heavier.
Really?
Aww.
Some of my clients
Don't-
that are on a
don't-
bulk right now, listen to this.
This is for you, Monica.
Lift heavier.
Oh, name drop.
Hey.
Name drop.
Heavier.
We're cool with that. Though. We're cool with that. Big
Y'all,
back.
y'all didn't hear. I know y'all didn't hear though.
No, what do you say?
She said lift heavier and
Is that what you said? Lift heavier?
Yes,
Oh, I
don't-
wonder why. Why do
don't-
you want to lift heavier?
Don't be afraid to lift heavier.
But why do you want to lift heavier?
To be strong.
You put on muscle, right?
Yes.
Okay, just
You
want to
need
know.
you need to be at a certain intensity with your weight in order to elicit hypertrophy.
Because we have an ongoing debate. Can you get
Oh, no, I'm
stronger
scared.
or can you put? Well, what is it? Can you get stronger or can you put on muscle? Which one was it? By lifting heavier or can you
It's
get
stronger.
can you get stronger?
You get stronger with reps.
With reps, or do you get stronger by just lifting heavier?
You want reps. You want both.
You want both.
You don't want
both.
only
You can
one.
do both.
Mm-hmm.
Our body loves,
So what I said is
Variation.
like
To me,
that's
to
all
me, it
different.
depends on what you're trying to achieve.
but you're also a
Okay,
powerlifting coach.
if you're
Exactly.
trying to
Exactly.
if you're trying
Thank
to
you.
achieve a more leaner look and a more, ripped look, I think lift heavier, lift lighter. But if you're trying to get stronger to lift heavier weight, you need to train.
Well, look, we just.
Heavier.
We,
But
we-
let's say you
stronger.
reach your max, right? And you're, obviously you can't put more weight. What do? You can adjust the tempo a little bit. You can
Whoa,
maybe
whoa,
try to
whoa!
add
What do you
more
mean when
reps.
you reach your max?
Let's say you hit a PR and then you just can't go past that PR.
You go past the PR. You just keep working.
You just go past the PR.
You work,
Going
you
crazy.
work, and you train harder. That's how you do. That's
So how do you train harder?
you continue training harder, working with that weight, and you keep going and you keep going, keep training, and you eventually get past that plateau. That's
Anyway.
that's how we do it as a power.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
but let's just go back. Like you gained 10 pounds of muscle, correct, Mikayla?
oh yeah.
Like if you were to give me a structure on like how many reps and how many sets are you doing, what's your routine looking like?
My hypertrophy reps would be between 8 and 12.
8 and 12 reps.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, about 3 sets or
3, 4.
3, 4 sets.
Yeah.
So
But
and,
being at a good intensity, right? Like
Yeah.
not just being like holding 10-pound weights.
and that's why going back
Now
to
see,
it.
Like that's not gonna do anything.
mine is 5 to 8 when I'm
Right.
training for strength and power. Okay, because we can't just say,
Right.
okay, I hit a plateau, I got to stay there. No, you got to go above that because you want to hit that max weight. So you got to train harder. You got to add on, and you got to build your reps up to where you're going. If you're going 5 reps and you start going over 5, 6, 7, 8, you got to put on more weight, and you got to go 5, 4, 3, 2 to
What?
build that intensity, to get to that weight,
We're just gonna have to agree to
to
disagree.
get that lift.
Yeah.
But no,
I do wanna go
see
back
how I
to-
train certain.
Yeah.
You've seen how I train certain people,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
how I do it.
Yeah, exactly. Different strokes for different folks. Anyways, I do want to go back to the whole holistic part because I was looking online and it says one of the categories is financial wellness. What do you guys think about that? How do you feel about that? I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
mean,
Because that's a big part of how someone
because
kind of carries themselves or how they just
it's
go
security.
about.
Money
Yeah.
is security. You can't live without it. So if you are having stress in your financial area, obviously it's going to affect you in everything you do. That gives you anxiety. Can't
Yeah.
pay for your rent. You can't
Right.
pay for your car payments,
Right.
insurance.
I
It's gonna
agree.
affect you.
I agree that
Yeah,
agree with
exactly.
you 150%.
Wow, that's so nice of you.
You know?
Financial stress. It
Yeah.
trust me.
It's
It-
real. Absolutely.
it's a real deal, right?
It's
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, hell yeah.
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 You
It
know.
definitely is a big piece of that puzzle of like,
Yeah. of your well-being.
Of your well-being,
Yeah.
exactly.
You have to have a good relationship with money.
And with your approach and all of that, like, did you ever do any conventions or like go and do any, pretty much like, well, why am I drawing a blank? Not a convention, but like, like a convention, workshops,
seminar.
seminars. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I have.
And how were those like? And what, like, can you explain
What are
some of
some
those?
focuses?
Yeah.
Well, I try and do one like every year, but
Uh-huh.
this year was in England and doing that psychology conference. I feel like I go to a different one for self-growth mostly, and helping me understand me and how to be a better human.
Because that's the biggest thing too, is like the
Yeah.
more we understand
we are our
ourselves, the more we
business,
understand
know?
our clients and how
Exactly.
we
Okay,
go
so-
about things.
So financial stress.
Oh, we're back.
If someone has that and they're talking to you, how do you handle, and they're going through financial stress
I
problems?
mean, I feel like at that point, I don't have any financial background to give them advice, right? So I just, even when
But you
have
said it affects them emotionally, right?
emotionally, yes, absolutely. But I can't give them anything to steer them in that direction. I feel like for me personally, if I was ever in a spot that I felt like, oh shit, like I got a budget right now, then I just gotta trust and have faith, keep putting the work in, and that's all I can do, right? Stay positive.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though, but it's hard, right? Because the same thing, going back, we're not here to give advice of something we don't know.
Yeah.
So like those are times where you probably need to just meet your client to a
Or
certain
refer them out.
Yeah.
To someone who does know.
Maybe you have another client that's in finances
Yeah,
and be like,
exactly.
hey, you know what? I got a client who's a divorce lawyer. I've given her like 3 of my clients, and
Yeah.
it works. it's
I wanted to touch on this.
so, but here's another thing too.
Yeah.
It's one of those where I feel like
I know.
like
It's
Mike,
kinda tough.
Mike does get a little bit more like shocked of how you train and things like that. But I want to ask you, how are you building boundaries, to not get too suckered into your clients' stresses?
I feel like that part is probably the hardest for me because I feel when they're feeling, right? Like part of that holding space and being there for them and providing support is not really having boundaries.
Really?
Yeah. But I feel like I'm so close. Like all my clients, they feel like family.
Okay.
That's how I see it. Like
Same.
going to babysitting one of my clients' kids one time, going to family parties and just going out to lunch or dinner with them, just literally being a part of their life, not just in the gym and outside, but outside the gym as well.
And you felt like that's worked for you to sustain like a long-term fitness
Absolutely.
business?
I have my first client ever still. My client Liz. Am I allowed to say names?
I mean, preferably not to, but what's up, Liz?
Yeah.
As long as they
I don't know if she's
are
gonna
fine
listen,
with it.
but yeah.
But
She has been training with me since October 2017, and all the way through COVID, like she has stayed with me.
So that's a solid foundation for you of your training styles, that
Yeah.
building that relationship
Yes,
and whatnot.
that is
so.
the basis for sure. Like the strength of my business is having that relationship
And like I said, I agree with that.
and understanding them. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Which again comes from understanding yourself first. The more you understand yourself, the more
Yeah.
you can understand other people and be able to help them.
Yeah. So that self-awareness piece, I feel like, is huge in the work that I do as well.
Yeah.
So then let me ask you this, because it sounds like you have such a strong relationship with your clients. You were a trainer in 2017. 2020, the pandemic happens. How was business for you, and how was your training style then, and how were you doing during that time?
Damn. Okay. So I think from 2017 to 2020, before the pandemic happened, I had already reached the master trainer level, and I wasn't sure how else I wanted to grow. I knew I wanted to do like privately, but I didn't know how to make that jump, right? Because it was scary that, again, going back to the financial stress, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it if I leave 24, because people are not walking in through the door asking for training. I would have to find all my clients by myself. And so when COVID happened, 24 took commission away. And so when I did the math, that was like 40% of my paycheck. I was like, there's no way I'm even going to be able to live off of that. And so I was super open with all of my clients, and they were like, find a gym and we will follow you. Yeah. And so they were the basis of me moving and doing it on my own.
Yeah.
Do you think that having that strong relationship was an easy conversation to have with them, or was that conversation nerve-wracking still for you?
Well, in the beginning, I feel like at that point in my life, like money was still like not a conversation that I was super comfortable with having, but they were still super open to me having that conversation with them, and super understanding. And I mean, there were some clients that are just like, oh, I'm just going to take a break from training right now. Like, they were also afraid of COVID, right? So they didn't want to be around people at all. So
and that was your transition to being an independent trainer.
Correct, yes. And I feel like I'm thankful for COVID in that sense.
Oh, I think
because
so.
it was the kick in my butt to go and do it on my own finally. Because it was already a conversation that me and my fiance had many of times, because it was like I maxed out at 24 and I didn't want to be a fitness manager because I wouldn't get to work with people as much.
Amen to that. That's why I stepped down.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I was like,
So
I don't want to do that.
It's time for you to open up your own gym. That's what it is.
I don't know if I want to do that.
That's the next step.
We'll see.
You
That's
think
the
so,
next
Mike?
step.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
It's hard to open up your own gym.
For sure.
What's that?
It's hard to open up your own gym.
I mean,
you
Not
wanna,
really.
No, because you got to make sure it's successful.
really.
I mean, there's a lot of things that you need, but
Mike
you know,
is
it's
a-
doable.
Mike is a character.
Yeah, you got to make sure your P&Ls are good, your ROIs is on top. Come on, man. It ain't that
It's
easy.
doable.
It's doable.
That's
but
all you need, and that's all that matters.
Okay.
This is doable.
It's doable. I know. But I think you need to have a different mindset.
Yeah,
for that
you
too.
got and you've got to want it. Like that has to be the end all, you know? Like,
Because-
there's no plan B. If you say you're going to do it,
Yeah, because like I said,
it all.
it's one of the things that you said, something that was very crucial. You didn't want to move up because it was going to take you away from what you liked to do, is
Absolutely.
being with the people.
yes. And that was like the whole thing of me moving here and not knowing what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm always going to follow my passion.
Yeah.
Like,
Is
because
it
I had no
this
idea
is your
what the hell.
passion, right?
People are my passion.
I was about to say people is definitely your
People are
passion.
my passion.
People.
At what point did you figure that out about yourself?
Probably the first couple of years of being here in California, because
Yeah.
that was like my self-discovery journey. Moving here, I only knew my best friend and her family, and that was so scary.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
what, 22 years old, and I was like, wait, what the hell did I do, right? And that's when I got into meditation, and I was reading all these self-growth books because I didn't know who I was anymore moving here.
Yeah.
It's almost
I
like,
like
your
that.
your mini
Yeah.
rock bottom. So we're like,
Oh yeah, I cried so many times because I was like,
Oh,
what
shit,
the
that was your rock
fuck did I
bottom.
do? You know, like I knew one person. I didn't know what I was doing with myself. But to be here now, I'm like, look at all the people I know. It's very
Right,
exciting.
right,
The
exactly.
community and I love it.
that's good. And I think, you know what, you picked a great career to build a community, fitness.
For sure.
And not just
For
that,
sure.
when I think of a community, I also think of group training, because group training is a community too. And I hear through the grapevines that is something that you're doing as well too.
As of, yes, within the last year, coaching at F45. And the community there is wonderful. You know, it is like it's
It's for sure like
probably,
family too.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like I would say the demographic also is like between 20, mid 20s.
Younger
to-
demographic probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was that transition from, you know, getting into group training? I know you still do
Oh my God.
one-on-ones, but like what was the transition of becoming a group trainer?
Well, like I was telling you guys before, just like how being on this podcast makes me hella nervous. I would have to meditate in my car for 10 or 15 minutes and do deep breathing, because being in front of, even if it was 10 people, like it made me so nervous.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Because I mean, like the difference between group versus
And just
one-on-one,
being
right? It's
one-on-one,
like, yeah,
oh,
it's
it's so
like the goal
different.
is the same. The goal is still to help people, but the approach is now different.
Yeah.
And it has to do with like public speaking
Yes.
and being loud and being in front of 20 people and being able to hold yourself to, being that leader of the room. Like it's different when it's just one-on-one. I can easily talk to someone, right?
You got,
Exactly.
you got that personality. You guys got that personality. That's important.
Yeah.
That you
It
got
comes
that
with personality
personality,
for
because
sure.
you need that
Yeah.
when you're in a group training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
And
be very
I
personal.
feel like
That's
I had
so
to
fun.
find.
And of course, it's not easy, but the more
Yeah.
you do it,
I had to find my group fitness coach voice.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
Same.
have that yet.
Same.
And so
See,
now
we're the
I'm
same in that
comfortable-
we're
Yeah.
kind of chilling, laid back. But we
I-
have someone
yeah.
over here that's been naturally loud for his whole entire life. So
I thought
You
group
know.
training was easier when
Yeah.
when we did
Oh,
TC24 and things
Yeah.
like that, and I've taught like
Yeah.
things like that. I thought that was easier because I wasn't investing so much into one person,
yeah.
and that one person, like I said, they would open up. There's a lot of energy. I think one-on-one takes more energy out of me because I'm investing in one person, and that person can either be chill or could explode with so many emotions and whatnot. I think group training for me, it was like, all right, what's the workout? Cool. What's the playlist? And just yell and just, you know, it was literally for me, and that's it's all high,
For
it's
group
high
training,
energy.
It's like it kind of runs our social
yeah, to
battery.
me it's all
our
high
social
energy
battery
and
for
just
us.
like, all right, cool, look, and then you do the quick demo first time around, this is what it is, and literally just making sure you're running around. Like I literally would just bump the music up and like literally go to everybody, all right, you're doing right, good, or you know, correct, and things like that. And I'm just like a hype man, and to me that was like so much easier. It's just like the only thing that was physically draining for me, like it would just be because I was literally like moving
when you
around.
got 18
For us, it's
stations to demo,
Yeah.
sometimes you have 18 stations to demo, and we're doing 3 back-to-back
gassed out.
classes. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. But being
It's
at
mainly the social,
that
I
hype
feel like.
woman, that's what I feel like I have to do too. Sometimes I have a hard time falling asleep that night because my level of energy is so high.
Really?
Yes.
I fall asleep quick because of that, man. That's crazy.
Not anymore.
Different.
Yeah, but that's why. And like, I feel, you know, I look at so all of you guys, I'm assuming, got into F45 through the same guy, right?
Correct.
JP.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give him a shout out. So I look at him and I feel like when I see him, I think that fool just got it on lock, and it's
Oh
just
my
like,
God,
yo,
he is the
I
epitome
look up to that guy
of
so
group
much. Like
fitness
he's
coach.
such a great
Yeah.
trainer.
Truly.
I learned
and that's
so
why
much about him.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just one of those where I believe, like, Mike, I'm all like, when I heard you guys were there, I'm like, oh, you guys have the personality for it. And it's
Dude,
like,
I can't do group training. No way.
yeah.
You know, I mean, back in my day, you know,
he did teach a circuit training class.
We would look at group training, and we're like, oh no, I can't do it. But because we have people like Richard Simmons,
Right.
you know,
With the sweatband and the...
we'd look at that and we'd be like, man, I can't do that. You know.
But
no,
you
that's
did
not-
teach a circuit class. You taught classes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh!
I didn't teach classes,
You-
but I did like circuit. I did circuit training,
I can't find my soundboard.
but not like F45 when you're walking around and stuff like that. Because we
Yeah.
used to see this
Enter
guy
that
like.
clip. Enter that clip where he said he did circuit training.
It used to
I'm
be,
gonna get an
it
edit.
used to
I'm gonna
be
get an
Richard
edit down.
Simmons and Jacqueline and stuff like that.
I'm
So
gonna get an
it
edit
was
down.
never appealing to us.
Yes.
You
The
know.
aerobics. Because it was
But
like
then the guy's got to
aerobics.
realize that, hey, man, I'm like 40 years older than this guy. I'm like 30 years older than this guy. So I come from a completely different
You're not
generation than
70.
them. Huh? He's 30 something.
He's 35.
35. Well,
You're not
I'm
70.
67. I'm like right there. Come on, you know, I'm close to 30 years, and I'm like almost 40 years
you
older
said
than
in
him.
like previous episode you taught a circuit training class.
So we come from.
You just
He
gotta
did. He
ignore.
literally
What's
did.
that?
Yeah, you did
He literally
a couple
did.
of episodes. You said you taught a circuit training class.
I just said I did circuit training
Circuit
just now.
training.
Yeah.
Can you
I don't-
explain to us
I don't
what
consider-
the circuit training was?
I don't really consider
Supersets.
circuit training, you know,
Squats, push-ups.
but I don't really consider it like
Like, how many people were it?
like 4 or 5.
You're good.
It wasn't big like, you know, F45 and stuff like that. It wasn't like,
Like
20
15,
people and stuff
yeah.
like that. I couldn't do that. You know, I mean, coming up, man, you see people like Richard Simmons and, you know, Jacqueline and stuff like that.
Right.
And you're like, man, I don't want to do that.
I think
you
anyone.
know?
I feel like it's a skill that anyone can definitely learn.
It's
Yeah.
changed
exactly.
a lot
Yeah.
nowadays.
I think you would be a
You-
great.
Yeah.
You know
Like
what?
you probably
just-
can't do it right now, but if
Yeah.
you practice that
Yeah,
skill
you- if
to
you
be in front
wanted
of
to,
people,
yeah.
you can learn it for sure.
Yeah.
No, I don't- I
Maybe you could do
can't.
like group power training.
You know, it's like you said. It's hard to teach your old dog new tricks, right?
No, it is. But that's crazy. I mean, it's one of those where I honestly thought like group training would be something super, super simple for you, especially like I said, you always got that hype energy or anything like that. I didn't know that you were like meditating before class and just you
Yeah.
don't strike me as a type that gets nervous.
That's what people
Remember, I said
thought
you have to
also.
have the personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would help to have that.
I don't have that
personality.
personality.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, I don't think I have that personality either. I just learned the skill.
I learned it
just
exactly.
learned the skill.
I don't like even doing this. You guys saw how nervous I was. Just having to talk and improvise.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like chatting it up and just getting to know you and seeing your approach.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like your approach a lot, because your approach in one-on-one is very similar to mine and Kyle's and whatnot. You're here to be there for your client and whatnot.
Yep.
So that's why I kind of wanted to get a feedback on your approach on group training, because now you got a lot of different energies. You probably got like 20 people in there.
Right. And some people are more open to it than others, right? So,
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like they're just
just some people want the corrections and stuff. Some people, they're just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. So some people like the push. They're like, yes, like I know, like I give you or I complain to you, but like I appreciate the push. And then there's some that I'm just like, I know they don't want that push.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. But they'll show up, you know.
They'll show up for
still
sure.
do something.
Something.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, with you being such a people person, do you do any online training? And if you do, how does that work
Not
for you?
usually, no. But doing this 6-week challenge right now with F45, I feel like I'm getting a taste for it, because I've been scheduling phone calls with them to help keep them accountable and on track. You know, actually get to know them, so that I can understand how to motivate them and what they need from me. I've also asked them, like, how do you want me to support you? Because I've never done this before, and I'm just open about it, right?
Yeah.
And what feedback do you have for online training? Because I feel like I think I would struggle with online training, because I'm not there with them. I'm personally like to be next to people.
Me too.
I'm very extroverted.
Same.
It is hard. I'm
Really?
going to say it's hard for me staring at my phone and having to get back to all the messages, because being in person is so much easier for me also. Yeah. So it's a learning process for sure.
So do you have any final thoughts or final advice for people who are trying to maybe focus more on their holistic health rather than just one side, or last words overall that you want to share?
Just understand that fitness and your health is only one part of your health. Yeah. Like there's those 3 pillars, right? You want to be overall healthy in all of those things.
Which was what again? Mind, body, soul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mind, the body, the soul.
Yes. Take care of all of them.
Nice, Mikayla.
Yeah.
Now
Where can we find you?
We're gonna say the
Like,
same
give them a
thing.
plug of, like, you know, if people wanted to train with you, or
I guess Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
Mikayla_Amber.
Amber. Okay.
Yes.
Is that like your?
Or visit us at our gym.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or at
Yeah.
F45.
Or at F45
Or at
Monday
45.
afternoons.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well, thank you, Mikayla. I know this was not easy for you, and like I said, we got to dig down a little bit deeper, but hopefully you felt comfortable.
Yeah, I feel better now.
You feel better now.
Yeah.
You feel you hopefully
Yeah.
With the debates that we had.
yeah. I mean, hopefully you're healed holistically.
By Mike, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, healer.
So thank you for stopping by. Like I said,
thank
you
you for
guys
sharing.
like.
It was great having you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I told
for
you the
having
whole
me,
time
Really.
it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
You know, you're
I
gonna
feel like
enjoy
we
it.
could
Don't
probably
be
have,
irie.
we could probably have like a nice little debate though between you and Mikayla.
About what?
Just on approaches. That'd be a fun
Yeah,
one.
we definitely
About
will
what?
invite
About
you back on
approaching
here, you know.
training.
approaches.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know
guys are
what? We
two
all have
That's
our
for the
different.
next
trainers.
episode, Mike.
Yeah.
So thank you.
We all have different approaches.
Exactly.
So once again, you
Exactly.
guys like, comment, subscribe. You can
Yes.
always find Mikayla on socials and whatnot. I'm Coach Cisco.
Coach Michael.
Coach Kyle.
Coach Mikayla.
Yes. And we'll see you guys next time. Yeah, good job.